Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a range test with the Volvo XC90 Recharge. First and foremost though, I do want to mention if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get right into the test. First off, I have to explain why we are doing this test. So the XC90 Recharge is a plug-in hybrid, and this is actually where you would charge it up. And because it is a plug-in hybrid, you can actually drive on just electric power. Now, we do have a stated range from the EPA, and it's on the window sticker. Now, getting to the window sticker is fun because you guys can see there's nothing here in the glove box. You actually have to press this button right here to lower down the glove box, and I have it in this little pamphlet. So I could have obviously taken it out beforehand, but I thought this would be fun for dramatic purposes. Anyways, you guys can see right here, 36 miles of electric driving range is what it is stated to have. Now you guys can see that I don't have a full charge yet. I have 23 miles of range is what it says, and then you guys can see there on the little side here how much it's actually charged up. But there is a way to charge it up besides plugging it in. What you can do is you actually come here to the infotainment system and you slide it over to the left, and then there's this charge button right here. Press that. The engine will pop on, and it'll actually just run off of gas power. It won't use the electric motor. And so basically what it'll do is it'll slowly charge up the battery as I drive it. When I first got this delivered to me, it was at about half charge, so I've added quite a few miles. I'm gonna be going on a very long trip today, and so yeah, should be pretty good. But anyways, let's set off, and then once I have a full charge, we'll start the test. Okay, so something that I just found out is that if you do highway driving, it doesn't charge the battery. I've had it in, I mean, I can prove right here that I've had it in the charge mode the whole time. You can see it's still in charge mode. But yeah, the range hasn't increased at all because, again, highway driving doesn't do any charging. So, interesting thing to learn. Okay, so quick update. I've been driving around all day and it hasn't gone above 25 miles of range. So I talked to some people that actually own these, and what I was told by them is that getting that extra like little bit to 100% takes forever with driving. And so if you want to get all the way to 100%, you just got to plug it in. And so we're going to do this test with 25 miles of range, see if it's actually 25 miles of range. Okay, so you guys can see our starting mileage here, 2228. I'm going to take a picture of that as well. And then once we run out of range, then we'll see what our ending mileage is to see if the range is accurate. So we can just extrapolate, right, if this was on a full charge, if it would, you know, do the full set of range as well. Okay, so we're going to do a couple things here. So we're going to take it out of the charge mode. We're not going to have it in hold. And then we're going to go from drive mode to pure. So that's going to be our full electric, okay? And we're going to do B so that we get the most amount of regeneration, so that we can obviously take advantage of this. So full electric mode, no engine used whatsoever. And I'm just going to show you guys how this drives a little bit. You're obviously not going to have to sit here through the full 25 miles because frankly, especially with traffic, that would take forever. I mean, then it would make this video probably over an hour long or something like that. It feels so much slower in the full electric mode because you don't have, right, the power coming from the gas engine. But it's not slow by any means. Like, it's still quick, and you can actually dive into the throttle and it doesn't turn on the engine, right? It actually, that's something that I really like about this. So you can really have that like full EV driving experience here with this. And while we're at it, I deserve to get a massage after today. Here we go. It's probably going to decrease our range a little bit, but I don't care. We're getting a massage while we're driving down the road. So you guys can see coming up here, not touching the brake at all. This is all Volvo right here. Okay, got to do the last little bit. So what I've noticed with the B mode, because I've used it on the highway too, is when you're going at pretty high speeds, it's not super aggressive. But once you dip under like 70-ish miles an hour, then it gets pretty aggressive. And then when you're going at like low speeds, it's really aggressive until about like 10 miles an hour, and then it is like less aggressive. It's kind of interesting, like how aggressive the regeneration is based on speeds. So it seems like there's like a window that this likes to be in from a speed perspective, to be aggressive with the, you know, application of the regeneration. So interesting driving in full EV mode in this. And it definitely adds to the luxury car experience because it's quiet, right? We've made it a mile so far, and we haven't actually used a mile of range. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is great. You know, in terms of plug-in hybrids, this is my favorite so far that I've driven out of all the manufacturers, because of the one pedal drive, because of the range you get with this extended range, right? If I did the full charge, that's also great. And the fact that you can actually drive this in full EV mode. A lot of hybrids, even plug-in hybrids, they just instantly turn the engine on the second you apply any bit of throttle. Look at this, full throttle. Okay, there is a second pedal though, just so you guys know. It's like a second compression point, and that'll pop the engine on. If you go full throttle and you press through that second compression point, then it'll actually pop the engine on. Again, I don't want to run this test, so I don't want to do that. But, you know, once the test is over, I guess I can show you guys. But this is great. I mean, like, just going around town, and we just went down to 24 miles. This is great. Like, the power's great. I will do a highway test as well, because we'll have more than enough range to do that. But yeah, so far, I'll get back to you guys once we pop onto the highway. Okay, so we're gonna get onto the interstate, and we're gonna see if you can actually drive it in the full electric mode on the interstate, or if it's, you know, just not gonna have enough power, this or that. And you guys can see these other cars, so, you know, other regular SUVs accelerating and getting onto the interstate as well. So I'll try to move that up a little bit. I'll be a little bit blind so you guys can actually see. So I'm like barely into the throttle, by the way. It's got enough torque that it actually moves at a really solid pace. I mean, I can keep up with the flow of traffic, no problem. Which is really cool. Yeah, just for keeping up and cruising, does a great job. I'm interested to see what this does with the range though, because I imagine around town, right, it's gonna be a lot better because you're gonna do more regenerative braking, but on the highway, there's not gonna be as much regen happening, and you're gonna be putting a little bit more stress on the, you know, electric motor and everything to move stuff, right? Because we're at higher speeds. So you gotta put a little bit more effort into moving. Yeah, down to 21 miles of range now. Yeah, I can already tell. Yeah, it seems like this is starting to sap power quite a bit more. But you can do the regen in just a way that you get the most possible out of it, where you're not pressing the brake whatsoever, and it's all regen stopping you. Okay, now this will be the interesting part. I'm really impressed with this system though. Again, for not being like a dedicated EV, for being a plug-in hybrid, this is something that I could actually see like this powertrain, I could see myself owning this in a vehicle. I really like this. How they have this whole setup, I think is great. We got that awkward situation where they're trying to turn over here, I'm trying to turn over there, but I'm getting blocked by none other than a slow Baru. Can I get over finally? Yep, there we go. Let's see if we have any passing power. Still not going very quick. Okay, so there is the passing power is like, yeah, when you're in the full EV mode on the highway, okay, like, let me get over again. You don't really have any, okay, like, look, this is, because if I press it any farther, I'm gonna go into the second pedal and turn the engine on. This is like pretty much full throttle. And it's like 1, 2, 3. So like you can get past people, but you're not gonna be like rocketing past them. You're gonna have to use the engine if you really want to push past someone. But if you wanna gradually pass, which frankly is more safe, right? Then, well, depending on the circumstance, of course. then yeah, it can do that really well. But yeah, we're sapping range pretty quick. 19 miles now. It seems like it's going, that bar's going down faster now. But anyways, there's kind of like your impressions. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch the whole drive, so I'm just going to keep it in the EV mode. I have one more stop to make before I head back home, so there's going to be a little bit more town driving. Then there's going to be some more highway driving, and I'm sure that I'm going to run out of range somewhere on the highway. And so once I run out of range, then I'll get back to you with the results of how accurate their range is, and then we'll kind of extrapolate from there. Okay, so I'm not sure how long this is going to last for. We are on our last mile of range, and I learned some things while this is going out, and then we'll see what mile marker we're at when it goes out and turns on the engine. So first off, you probably want to cruise at under 80 miles an hour. Here in Utah, that's kind of hard because the flow of traffic will go quicker. So like I found myself going over into the right lane because with how steep some of the hills are with the interstate, the engine like popped on for a second, and then I had to quickly like I said, get over in the lane and slow down, and then because it took it out of the pure mode and it put it into the hybrid mode, which obviously, yeah, so slight mistake in the test, but honestly it was for such a short time period that it really isn't going to skew things all that much. But I'm actually pretty impressed because we started at 2228 and we still have one more mile of range, and we still have a little bit of a bar left. I think we're going to be able to make it to 30 miles. Again, it said 25 miles of range, and you guys saw where the charge was. It was at about like 3/4, but it said 20 miles of range. Okay, now we're zeroed out. No range left is what it says. We're still full electric. So I got the drive mode thing up here. So it'll go from pure, it'll gray out pure, and it'll go over to hybrid once we completely run out, which I guess I'll have to keep clicking on. But also, I'll be able to see on here, because you guys can see with the gauge cluster, it shows me a little lightning bolt, right? That lightning bolt is letting me know that I'm in full electric. If I'm using gas, it'll be like a little drop, like almost like, you know, like the icon in some things for like a little blood droplet, same thing, but a little gas droplet, and that'll let me know that I'm using fuel. But I'm super impressed because, again, like, you could charge this at home, and I have a really long commute compared to most people. Like today I commuted well over 100 miles, which is way more than what the average person does. The average person, what, like 20 to 40 miles maybe? So I mean, yeah, we just passed the 30-mile mark. So if you have this fully charged, even if you have a longer commute, hey, you could probably do this in full. There we go, gas just turned on. So 30 miles, and you can see drive mode, we're in hybrid now. Not possible due to low battery. So you can actually, if you drive this, you know, again, interstate driving, most of you probably don't have interstates this quick. If you're at like 65, 70 miles an hour, you're probably going to be able to get over 40 miles of full electric range, and it does solid on the highway. Obviously all these hills and everything here in Utah make things difficult. We have beautiful mountains, but obviously they make it so it's harder to get good range. And I'm at 4,500 feet elevation as well. I know that doesn't affect electric stuff like it does with, you know, normal gasoline engines, but that's impressive. That is really impressive. I'm gonna say it again, this is my favorite plug-in hybrid on the market right now, this powertrain. I think that Volvo should start selling this powertrain to, I mean, maybe they don't want to, but they should start selling this powertrain to other automakers, because yeah, I would definitely, yeah, I love this powertrain. They've done such a good job with it.